OffshoreInsiders.com, sports betting podcast for Friday, March the 6th. I'm Grandmaster Sports Handicapper Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. And now let's take a look at some news and notes for Friday, March the 6th. Joe Duffy's $1 Million March. In Las Vegas, sweep again last night, 9-3 in college basketball, 5-2 in the NBA for $1 Million March, 3-0 last night. My work ethic makes you a fortune, as we have for more than a quarter century. We've got 3 winners for tonight. www.offshoreinsiders.com, www.offshoreinsiders.com. Toronto and Charlotte, all records are ATS unless we're specifically talking about over-unders. We'll let you know. Teams are 34-67 since April the 8th of 2006 at home, with at least one day of rest off of a win in which they never trailed as an underdog. This says to fade Charlotte, again, a team that played very well as an underdog, fade them in a home situation like this. The Raptors, meanwhile, 18-2, going back to March 6th of 2013 with at least one day of rest off of a game in which there were 8 or more lead changes. In a loss. Now, the Raptors, the worst defensive efficiency in their last 5 games, allowing a whopping 112 points per 100 possessions. Charlotte, the best defensive efficiency in their last 5 games, allowing just 96.7 points per 100 possessions. Toronto, 7th worst in that span at 104.4. Chicago and Indiana, the Bulls, back-to-back in 3 games in 4 days. The Pacers have the best net rating in the league over the last 7 games at plus 11.1 points. Again, that's the difference between offensive and defensive efficiency based on points per 100 possessions. Now, by comparison, during the same span, Chicago, okay, 1.9 on the positive side. More specifically, Pacers' best defensive efficiency in their last 5 games, allowing a measly 91.1 points per 100 possessions. Sacramento and Orlando, the Kings are 1-18 going back to March 26 of 2006 as a favorite when they have a non-conference revenge game next. Cleveland and Atlanta, and again, OffshoreInsiders.com, Joe Duffy's picks already with 3 with some winners for tonight. Go to OffshoreInsiders.com for the Friday portfolio. Hawks 6-10 slide to the number after a 33-11 start. Cleveland doing just the opposite, 18-6 after a 13-26 start. So each team kind of finding their level. Cleveland, the best offensive efficiency in the NBA over the last 5 games, getting 108.4 points per 100 possessions. They're also the best in the last 10 games by a wide margin. Now, the over is the biggest public bet of the day, at least as we file this report. 89% of the people who bet on the total betting the over. But our free pick for today, as the teams are regressing to the mean, is Cleveland. Once again, Cleveland finally playing as one of the top teams in the NBA. We're going to ride them, go with Cleveland. Detroit and Houston. Houston's the single biggest public move against the spread at 79%. And, that's fairly high for a home team. As we said, road favorites are what the public, as a general rule of thumb, prefers to bet. But in this case, it is a home favorite as the biggest consensus play on Houston. Dallas and Golden State Mavericks playing back-to-back. Mavericks are 25-4 going back to April 23rd of 2011 as a road underdog after a loss as an underdog. Warriors, on the other hand, 18-3 since November the 1st of last year, but this season as a home favorite off of a win. All right, OffshoreInsiders.com. Don't forget, next week during the big conference tournaments, we're going to have all kinds of news and notes. You definitely want to listen to our podcast. Then it will be humongous. But please visit OffshoreInsiders.com each and every day for the best sports picks in the world. And yes, baseball, less than a month away.